When people talk about actors who truly shaped American cinema, only a handful of names belong in that conversation. And one of the biggest names of them all is Clint Eastwood. He wasn't just a movie star. He became a symbol of the silent cowboy, the ruthless anti-hero, the cold-blooded cop, and eventually is one of the greatest filmmakers Hollywood has ever seen. What makes his career even crazier is the fact that it lasted for more than 5 decades. From spaghetti westerns in the 1960s to Oscar-winning dramas in the 2000s, Clint Eastwood constantly reinvented himself without ever losing his identity. And today, we're counting down 10 Clint Eastwood movies that didn't just succeed at the box office. They helped define American cinema itself. Some of these movies changed entire genres. Some introduced legendary characters, and some proved that Eastwood was far more than just a tough guy with a gun. So with that said, here are 10 Clint Eastwood movies that defined American cinema. Number 10, Gran Torino, 2008.
Here's the deal. You stay away, because if I have to come back here again, it's gonna be ugly.
Gran Torino feels like Clint Eastwood saying goodbye to the legendary tough guy persona that made him famous. In the movie, Eastwood plays Walt Kowalski, a bitter Korean War veteran who lives alone after the death of his wife. He's angry, racist, disconnected from the modern world, but everything slowly changes after he becomes close to a Hmong family living next door, and what starts as a simple neighborhood drama slowly turns into a powerful story about guilt, redemption, and sacrifice. What makes this movie so strong isn't action, because honestly, there's very little action in it. The real power comes from Walt himself. He's not easy to like, he's rude, he says terrible things. But underneath all that anger is a lonely man carrying decades of pain. And the ending? Still one of the most emotional endings in Clint Eastwood's entire career. Gran Torino almost feels like Eastwood reflecting on his own legacy, as if he's saying maybe being a hero isn't about violence anymore. Number 9, Dirty Harry, 1971.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Oh!
If you've ever seen a cop movie where the main character breaks every rule imaginable, you can probably thank Dirty Harry. In this film, Clint Eastwood plays Harry Callahan, a San Francisco detective famous for his brutal methods and complete disregard for protocol. Harry doesn't care about politics. He doesn't care about procedures. He only cares about catching criminals. Simple. The movie came out during a time when America was dealing with rising crime and growing distrust toward institutions, and Dirty Harry became the perfect representation of public frustration. Harry isn't exactly a traditional hero. In many ways, he's almost a vigilante with a badge, but that's exactly what made the character explode in popularity. And of course, the movie gave us one of the most iconic lines in cinema history. Do you feel lucky, punk?
Well, do you, punk?
Even today, that line is still legendary. Dirty Harry also influenced countless action movies that came after it. Without Harry Callahan, characters like John McClane or Martin Riggs might not exist. But what makes the movie really interesting is how controversial it still feels. Some people see Harry as a hero, others see him as a dangerous symbol of unchecked power. And honestly, that debate is probably why the movie still matters today. Number 8, A Perfect World, 1993.
You and me are friends.
When people talk about Clint Eastwood's most underrated movies, A Perfect World deserves way more attention. The film stars Kevin Costner as an escaped convict who ends up traveling across Texas with a young boy hostage. Sounds simple, but the movie slowly evolves into something much deeper. It becomes a heartbreaking story about childhood, father figures, loneliness, and broken people trying to find connection. What's interesting is that Eastwood doesn't try to dominate the spotlight here. Instead, he steps back as a director and allows the emotional relationship between the characters to take center stage. And the result is incredible. The movie has this quiet sadness that slowly builds with every scene. You know things probably won't end well, but somehow the film still makes you hope. And that's exactly what makes the ending hit so hard. Number 7, Mystic River, 2003. By the early 2000s, Clint Eastwood was no longer seen as just an actor. He had fully evolved into one of Hollywood's most respected filmmakers. And Mystic River was one of the clearest examples of that transformation. The movie follows three childhood friends whose lives are shattered after a terrible tragedy from the past comes back to haunt them. And honestly, this movie is emotionally brutal. Not because of action, not because of gore, but because of trauma. Mystic River is a story about pain that never truly disappears, about guilt, about grief, and about how one horrible moment can destroy multiple lives forever. Sean Penn delivers one of the most powerful performances of his career, and that famous screaming scene in the street, "My daughter lives!" Still one of the most unforgettable Oscar moments of the 2000s. The movie proved that Eastwood could create dark psychological dramas just as effectively as directors like Scorsese or Fincher. Number 6. The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976. If there's one Clint Eastwood Western that perfectly represents the evolution of the cowboy genre, it's The Outlaw's Josie Wales. The movie came out during a time when traditional Westerns were starting to disappear, and Eastwood responded by making something darker, more realistic, and far more human. He plays Josie Wales, a peaceful farmer whose family's murdered during the American Civil War. After that tragedy, he becomes an outlaw driven by revenge. Sounds like a typical Western setup, but what makes the film special is how it portrays post-war America. Almost every character feels damaged, everybody has lost something. There are no perfect heroes here, and that's exactly why the movie still feels modern today. You can already see Eastwood developing the directing style that would later define his best work. Long silences, beautiful landscapes, and emotionally broken characters hiding their pain beneath a calm exterior. Number 5. Letters from Iwo Jima, 2006. A lot of Hollywood directors have made war movies, but very few made one as bold as Letters from Iwo Jima, because instead of telling World War II from the American perspective, Clint Eastwood told it from the Japanese side, and for an American filmmaker, that was an incredibly brave decision. Most war films turn enemies into villains, but Eastwood chose something very different. He focused on humanity. The movie follows General Kurobayashi and Japanese soldiers trapped on Iwo Jima, slowly realizing that survival is almost impossible. And what makes the film so powerful is how human everyone feels. These aren't monsters. They're ordinary people terrified of dying far away from home. The movie is quiet, slow, almost hopeless, but that hopelessness is exactly what makes it feel real. Many critics still consider it one of the greatest war movies of the 21st century, and honestly, it's hard to disagree. Number 4, A Fistful of Dollars, 1964. Before Clint Eastwood became a Hollywood legend, he was mostly known as a television actor. Then A Fistful of Dollars happened, and everything changed. Directed by Sergio Leone, the movie introduced audiences to the legendary Man with No Name, a mysterious cowboy wearing a poncho, carrying a revolver, and speaking very few words. This movie completely transformed the Western genre. Before this, American Western heroes were usually clean-cut and morally righteous, but Leone and Eastwood created something entirely different. An anti-hero, cold, selfish, dangerous. The visual style also felt revolutionary. Extreme close-ups, long moments of silence, and unforgettable music from Ennio Morricone. Without this movie, modern westerns probably wouldn't exist in the form we know today. Number 3, $1 Million Baby, 2004.
No, sir.
I know your mama.
Thought you might be interested in training me.
I don't train girls.
People see me fat, say I'm pretty tough.
Girly, tough ain't enough.
Still think Clint Eastwood only makes masculine action movies? $1 Million Baby completely destroys that idea. The film follows Maggie Fitzgerald, a determined woman dreaming of becoming a professional boxer. Eastwood plays Frankie Dunn, an aging trainer who initially refuses to coach her. But over time, their relationship becomes something far deeper than trainer and athlete. And then the movie suddenly changes. Without spoiling too much, the final act hits like an emotional truck. $1 Million Baby isn't really a sports movie. It's a story about hope, regret, love, and impossible moral choices. The film won Best Picture at the Oscars, further cementing Eastwood's reputation as one of Hollywood's elite directors. Number 2, Unforgiven, 1992.
We're farmers.
You bloody savages! Assassin!
A fistful of dollars helped build the cowboy myth. Then Unforgiven came along to destroy it, and the result? A masterpiece. The movie follows William Muni, a retired outlaw trying to live peacefully before being pulled back into violence for one final job. Sounds familiar, but Unforgiven completely dismantles the romantic image of Western heroes. In this movie, violence is ugly, messy, traumatic. There are no glamorous shootouts, no perfect heroes, only damaged people haunted by their past. That's what makes the movie so powerful. It doesn't celebrate violence, it exposes the emotional cost behind it. The film won Best Picture, and is still considered one of the greatest westerns ever made. And honestly, very few modern westerns have managed to reach the same level. And of course, the number one spot has to go to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not just Clint Eastwood's most iconic movie, but one of the most influential films ever made. This was the grand finale of Sergio Leone's Dollar trilogy, and it transformed Clint Eastwood into a worldwide icon. The story itself is actually pretty simple. 3 men searching for hidden gold during the American Civil War, but the execution, absolutely legendary. The movie features one of the greatest soundtracks in cinema history, iconic cinematography, and what many people still consider the greatest final duel ever filmed. But what truly made the movie immortal was how Leone turned westerns into something almost operatic, larger, stylish, brutal. Its influence can still be felt everywhere today. Without this movie, modern filmmakers like Quentin Tarantino might look very different, and Clint Eastwood himself might never have become a legend. From silent cowboy to Oscar-winning filmmaker, Clint Eastwood's career is proof that true legends never stop evolving. He didn't just survive Hollywood, he helped shape it. And even decades later, his movies still feel timeless. Now, the question is, what's your favorite Clint Eastwood movie? And do you think there's another Eastwood film that deserved a spot on this list? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more movie countdowns, hidden gems, and cinematic deep dives.